Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. My name is Paulo and I'm here again to show you another fountain pen review. And this is a review of a pen that is quite famous online, so there is nothing really new, just my own review. This pen was sent by Apple Boom, so thank you. After I'm done with all the reviews, I'll send you back the pens. And this is a pen that I would say it's quite popular, and let's check what is inside. As you may see, it is a platinum pen inside a white cardboard box. It has a blue case inside, and then it has platinum, the fountain pen warranty card, some instructions, user's manual, and here we have the platinum 3776 Century Black. And this is the little tag that describes the pen. I will take it out and let's see how it performs. But first, let's see how it looks. The performance is a little bit later. So, this pen is a pen that is, I think it became kind of a standard for many pen reviewers online. This is a pen that is quite comparable with some others. Many people have it because it's not that expensive for a gold nibbed pen. About the exterior characteristics of the pen, this pen is black with silver trim and it has the typical cigar shape. So this is very simple shape. It has one ring that holds the clip on the top of the cap. Then it has a cap band that is composed of two bands, one broader and one much thinner, and it says platinum, made in Japan, and 3776. And then it has another ring there on the bottom of the barrel. This pen is translucent, but not much, and I'm not sure if I can show it to you. I think you can see there the inner structure of that little dome. You can see the metal shining through, and I think you can also have a glance of the nib inside. Let me just grab one of my lights and try to light it from the back, and let me see if you can see. Okay, like this. Okay, you can see there is the nib inside and the barrel is much darker, but I guess let's put some more light. Okay, I guess you can see that the pen is translucent. You can see a cartridge there inside. Okay, but it doesn't seem to be translucent. It seems black, just plain black. It has a very nice resin, warm to the touch. I really like the kind of Japanese pens. The clip is very simple, very shiny, flat, and it is really good at holding things. Fabric goes beneath it very easily, so it is quite good. It has a screw cap that doesn't take too many turns to uncap. Let's check that, because some people like to see that. So 1 3/4, and this has that special seal on the cap. There is a spring. You can see it through a very strong light. It's very hard to show it through the camera because then there is the glare and it's very difficult, but there is a springy thing inside that keeps the inner cap very flush into this part of the section, and this makes the seal very good. And there are descriptions that these longs for the seal will keep your ink wet for many months. I didn't try that. I don't have that all that time to do that kind of stuff because I need to send this pen back. So there you see the cardinal and then 3776, the P from Platinum logo, then 14K SF and 585, which is the gold content equivalent to 14 karat, and then S fine, SF, which means soft fine. You have a plastic feed, and the nib has a very traditional shape. However, compared with other nibs, I think the shoulders of the nib are wider than some others, so this is quite a unique shape. Then you take the cap, the barrel off, and it has metal screw that goes into plastic. I don't find that to be a problem if the pen is well made. Then you have the cartridge here, and this pen also accepts the platinum converters. I don't have a platinum converter, so I went for the cartridge that came with the pen because no converter was provided. These cartridges have these nice for some and annoying for others, and for me it's kind of annoying. They do this rattling noise because they have the metal ball that seals the platinum cartridges. It rattles inside. It is good to free the ink from the walls of the cartridge, but it makes the rattling noise and not everyone loves it. So this is the pen. It's not very fat, but I think it is a pen with a very nice size, a comfortable section that flares up there a little bit, so your fingers rest comfortably. If you want to hold on top of the threads, you can do it. It's not sharp, and if you want also, you can hold it there, but here you have a step, but the step is a little bit sharper, so you have a long place where you can put your fingers with no problem. The pen is long enough to write unposted, but if you prefer to post your pens, you can post it and it still writes well. And my theory also is always if the pen, when posted, reaches this place of your hands, the beginning of the thumb, then it is a nice poster. If it gets behind that angle, it gets back heavy. Of course, it depends on the weight of the cap and so on, but like this, it's perfect. So this pen can be used either posted or unposted. It will be equally comfortable. Now, just about the shape. This pen has the cigar shape that is very common. And I have here a couple of other cigar shape pens just for people sometimes like comparisons I make. Sometimes I make color comparisons. I could show lots of black pens, but I decided to go for some cigar shaped pens that may be similar. One that is maybe the most similar one, it is the Sailor 1911 large, and it is a pen that's quite interesting, and I guess I will do versus videos from one against the other. I think it will be interesting. Then I have here a Mumbler 149 that is much longer, as you can see. And then I have some other interesting stuff that have the same kind of cigar shaped. However, the top of the cap is not always the same. See this pen? No, it's not a Parker pen. It looks like that, but it is a Taj pen from India. An eyedropper pen, interesting. It still has the price tag there in rupees, I think. Then we have one of the most well-known pens with this shape, the Pelican. This is the 120. This is now we go to a pen BBS 308, which also has this kind of shape. And we can go a little back on time again, and we have an arrow pen with the same kind of overall shape. Many of those pens are piston fillers, and this makes sense, but some are not. Another pen that reminds me somehow the same kind of design, but longer, slimmer. And this is the Parker Maxima Duofold from the English production. And finally, I have here Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore, which has the same kind of shape. So just to show you, there are lots of pens sharing the same kind of shape with different writing characteristics. And now let's go for some size comparison. And for the size comparison, I have here the Platinum 3776 and the Lamy Safari Candy Violet and the Parker Centennial Duofold Big Red. And you can see the Platinum is of the same size, the same length, but the Parker is a little bit girthier. Now let's uncap the pens just to compare sizes, and here you have them. The Platinum is the shorter one, or the shortest, but still a nice size. The nib, made of gold, has a comparable size to the nib on the Parker Centennial Duofold, which is nice because I like big nibs. And now I've showed you this. This pen is quite light, comfortable to hold, despite being light. So if you like light pens to write for a long time, I think this can be a very good workhorse pen while having a gold nib, if that's something that you may like. So this is one of the most famous Japanese pens, and now let's go to the writing sample. And here we have pen and paper, and let's start. One thing that I forgot to mention, that I forget every time to mention, is the price. This pen costs 195 euros. So it's not inexpensive, but it's not that expensive for a gold nib pen. Another good thing is there is a lot of different nib variations that fit this pen. So you can go for a lot of special nibs. And let's start the writing sample. The pen is the Platinum 3776 Century, and it is black. The ink inside is Platinum Blue from a Cartridge. Those kind of the cartridge that come with pens. And the paper is the usual Rhodia dot pad. And sorry if you can see through some of the previous writings of previous reviews, but it's getting very hard to get my Rhodia dot pad, so I have to spare the paper and use the other side of the sheet of paper. And so let's take a look. This pen writes really well with a very good ink flow, but I guess you can hear it. This pen has lots of feedback, and this is something interesting. I will go more onto it when I make the comparison between the two pens, but it has a very strong feedback. Sailor also has a very strong feedback, but I find this feedback to be different. Maybe a little less, but sharper. I don't really can describe it. I think if you start by using one of these pens, one of these brands, and if you like their feedback, maybe it is hard to like the feedback of the other. They are different, but the pen writes well. There's no doubt about it. The ink flow, I think, is quite good for a fine nib, and it is a Japanese fine, which means it's really fine. But this pen, it's written there, SF, has a soft fine nib, and that means that you can get some line variation. No, you cannot have lots of that, but you can have some. You see, it's not a flexible nib, but it is a soft nib. And I think it's quite visible, the difference. And let me... That's the writing on the top and the normal pressure and with increased pressure. However, with increased pressure, you can see that there is this thing there, and you can see it there also, is when you flex the nib because of the angle of the pen towards the paper, the feed touches the paper and makes this ghost line beneath. So you don't have to flex it that much, but I wouldn't do it in my normal writing. My normal writing is this, there, where you can see some line variation, but it's kind of normal line variation, and this is the extreme scenario where you really try to squeeze some line variation of the pen. And the pen writes well this way, but I will not write this like this every time. About the reverse writing. It's possible, but it is awfully scratchy. Okay, the pen writes well in terms of ink in the reverse side, and I would say this is like an extra fine, but it's terribly scratchy. So forget about it. But on the right place, on the right side, it writes really good, even if you write quickly and there's a lot of ink on the paper. So I really like this pen in terms of performance. It is a very good pen. I see why many people use it and like this pen. You can have in not the most expensive price, you can have a pen with a gold nib and that has a variety of nibs you can choose from. Another thing, when you write on the reverse side, you find scratchy. When you go back to the regular side, you can see what really is the feedback and not the scratchiness. This pen has feedback, and it has, and you have to be aware of that. This is not one of those glass smooth pens, but it is very well made and it writes really well just with feedback. So I see why most reviewers use it. It's a nice pen, good for size comparison, for the writing samples. It's good to compare with other pens. I see that. Unfortunately, I will have to send this one back, and I have to thank you, Mr. Appleboom, for sending me the pens for review. Thank you. This was very useful. This was something that was missing on my reviews, the Platinum 3776. And I have to thank you all, my viewers, for watching my videos, for having the patience to do that. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be back soon with more pen reviews. Bye.